Alrighty, we are now live on YouTube. Anything you say or do in perpetuity forever. All right, let's go get this meeting to order. I want to call the meeting to order. We have all of our aldermen here. We also have Alderman Drew Brixton via phone. Alderman Brixton, we can confirm that's you, right? Roger. There we go. That's good enough. We're good with the AG, so we're good now. We also have our clerk, Melissa Martin. We also have our attorney, Rocky Eaton. And although we have not sworn her in, she is still Alderwoman-elect Kim Stringer. So congratulations, Kim. We are waiting for one ballot, and the deadline is Friday. So if we don't get it before Friday, we would swear. Well, if we don't get it before Friday, we'd swear in Monday. Hopefully, we'll get it in the next day or so and get her ready to rock and roll. But anyway, if we could have Alderman Craig Bullock lead us in the prayer and the pledge.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for the privilege to be here. Thank you for our wonderful city. God, I pray that as we just meet and discuss, that we will do so in accordance to your will. And we just ask for your guidance and direction. God, and thank you for just all of your blessings. Thank you for the safety, the travel for the ones here tonight. And we ask for your safety as they leave. It's in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey Drew, can you move your phone away from whatever device you're listening to, or get some feedback based on the proximity next to one another?
Yes. Okay. All right. Make a motion to adopt the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt the consent agendas, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4? Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody wants to comment?
Nobody signed the book.
You need to get back comment just so that I have somebody.
Yeah, we did. I think what it is, by ordinance, we can only have so many, and we tapped out last meeting. For the next 3 meetings, we will not have any.
They're on the agenda.
They're on the agenda.
Oh, they on the agenda. Well, everybody welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. All righty, now some of the fun stuff. Proclamations and the resolutions. Is there a motion to adopt a proclamation applauding the Girl Scout movement and Girl Scouts of Greater Mississippi? Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, stand up, gang. How y'all doing tonight?
Who brought the cookies?
We've got a proclamation. If y'all don't mind, could y'all come up here? We'd love to get a picture with you guys. Okay, y'all squeeze back this way. Everybody look this way. And what do we want to say, Steve? G.
Y'all ready? 1, 2, no, 3. Let's do one more. All right. Yeah, it turned out good.
You know, we got 47.
Great, girls. I'm going to go back here and read a little bit of this proclamation. I appreciate y'all coming tonight. I'll give y'all a little bit more information. This proclamation, as we said, it was about a week, and let's see, get my reading glasses on. And it talks about, whereas Girl Scouts of Greater Mississippi serves 6,000 girls across Mississippi now, therefore, I, Tony Ducker, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of Petal, do hereby applaud the Girl Scout movement and Girl Scouts of Greater Mississippi for providing girls with a safe, inclusive, all-girl space where they can hone their skills and develop leadership abilities. And I declare the week of March 10th through the 16th as Girl Scout Week. So thank y'all for coming. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all for the picture too.
Thank you.
Y'all are welcome here at City Hall anytime. Everybody sits still long enough. I understand.
Wow, that is a place out.
It got quieter in here. What's going on? Josh was back there talking so much, we couldn't hardly hear nothing.
Hey, Mayor, are we gonna, do our hours? Firefighter hire?
We saw the progress.
Here?
I don't know.
Get the person here.
Chief, is your guy here, we're hiring?
Are we gonna swear in?
No.
Oh, okay. Good.
We'll bring it back.
Okay, that's cool. All righty, I'll explain this one if we can get a motion in a second. Number 6, request to adopt a resolution authorizing Mayor Ducker to apply for funding and naming Mayor Ducker as authorized representative to the Mississippi Department of Wildlife Recreation Trails Program for development of pedestrian bicycle access over the Leaf River via the vacated bridge, Old East Hardy Bridge, and authorizing up to $15,000 in matching funds. We get a motion
Motion.
and a second.
Second.
This is something that we're actually, Steve's sitting in the back, they're actually participating. The city of Hattiesburg, and I'm always appreciative of them because both of them always participate in these instances at a greater degree than we do, understanding the budget capacity.
When you say Steve, you mean the county?
The county, yes. Because me, I would just say, hey, man, here's the number divided by 3, let's rock on. But they are cognizant of the different size budgets. So I think the Hattiesburg was going to be in the 40 to 50, and I think that the county was going to be in the 30 to 40, and then 40 up to 15 for that. And what this is to try to do some work on the Leaf River Bridge. Obviously, this would be matching funds as they attempt to get some grant money. And I've got some good news on another grant later on, I guess during the mayor's report as well. So anyway, I got this from Mayor Barker, and if we could get this through, we got any questions? It's something we've talked about for a while. It kind of falls under the Leaf River District. Some monies that we should be, and we're still trying to find out what that exact number is that we should be putting aside every year. So it kind of fall under that anyway. So anyway, got a motion, got a second, all in favor? All righty, no bids and quotes, no old business. General business, I don't think we need a motion or anything on this one, but if y'all want to come on up. There's not a microphone, but it actually picks you up right here on the YouTube. So how you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you
Man,
all?
fantastic. We've had the girls, they didn't bring us no cookies, but
I know I actually
It
ran
is.
out, I ran out of lemon on my way down here, so I might have to.
cut it out. Well, you've got the floor.
Okay, so again, my name is Samaya Randall. I am not the actual floodplain specialist for this area. Jonathan Hughes actually is. So I am a floodplain management specialist as well as the National Flood Insurance Coordinator for the state of Mississippi. I work with Mississippi Emergency Management. I work in the Office of Mitigation, which houses the Office of Planning, the Office of Grants, as well as the Office of Floodplain Management. And we also just recently added the Office of Storm Shelters. So we do a little lot in the Office of Mitigation. So the reason why I'm here is because I was asked to bring a little bit of educational piece about the National Flood Insurance Program. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about the actual regulations that were adopted within the city itself. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop me at any point and I'll start.
And I've actually got,
Okay.
Maya's contact information via email, so obviously after you leave, I'm sure you'll be available via email
Yes,
as
you can
well.
always reach me via email or call, it doesn't matter. I'm always available.
I think you say you're always, every time I've ever, yeah.
I try my hardest to respond back to you in a timely manner possible. So I'll start a little bit. So the city of Petal has been a member of the National Flood Insurance Program since 1980. The National Flood Insurance Program is a voluntary program that communities opt into. It provides flood incentives to the citizens that have flood insurance. It also provides it just protects the life and property of people itself. Our main focus is to protect people as well as their properties. Because again, people invest all their money into their mortgage. That's their life. So the last thing they want to do is see it go somewhere if a major disaster occurs within the community. Now, I do want to also state that the city of Petal does have an open community assistance visit. So the community assistance visit was open January 23rd, 2018. There's currently one violation that remains, and that community assistance visit was open with FEMA, not the state. Community assistance visits are done actually every 3 to 5 years. So with that being said, it was done in 2018. So that's a very long time for that community assistance visit to be open. I was informed by FEMA that they have been trying to reach to the code official who was named as the floodplain administrator for the city. And from my understanding, they are working on resolving that violation, which is great. That's what we love to hear. We hate to see anything that lingers on because that affects the community as well, any citizen that may be tied in with that violation. In reference to that, it's just general information. I actually have created what we call a community dashboard, and of course you all can keep it. So this dashboard is pretty much just an overview of where you stand within the National Flood Insurance Program. My goal here is to just kind of aware you of the program, what it offers, and I wanted to talk to you about your regulations that you actually adopted. So your last current ordinance was dated on September 7th, 2021. So the board at that time adopted this ordinance. And pretty much this ordinance is just like any other ordinance. To be a member of this program, you have to follow the minimum regulations of the Code of Federal Regulations 44 CFR. So since 1980, the regulations have still been the same. They've never changed, and they're never going to change unless FEMA actually does a change in there, and then we have to change it within our state model ordinance, and then we make sure that communities actually adopt it so within their communities. So other than that, that's just a brief overview of the program. And if you want me to go deep into your regulations, I can. However, I always tell communities, you have the opportunity to request us to do personal one-on-ones. I can't go into the whole program. I can't go into your whole regulations right here at this board meeting because we know board meetings are time sensitive. So all I can do is give you a brief overview, but if you would ever like for me to come back and just actually sit down and do a one-on-one with you in the program and your regulations, that is possible. Now, I do want to aware you all again that you do have an open CAB, and the CABs are every 3 to 5 years. And so with that being said, if FEMA ever does come back, or even if the state comes back to do a CAB, just remember it's going to open, it's going to close, and it's going to reopen. So whatever violation that remains with that old one, which is that one violation, if it's not clear by the time someone does come back and do another visit, it just will carry over. But at the same time, our goal is to try to close that CAB while we can. Like I said, I understand Amy is working, that's what I was told. And even though we don't have our hands on it, we still can help if she needs our assistance. But from my understanding, I think that is in progress.
So can you tell me, like, I don't want to get into specifics about the violation, but
Okay.
what is a violation?
Now, actually, I'm not quite sure what the violation was. I said this
Not
violation.
specifically that one, but like just the violation is when we don't follow the ordinance.
Uh-huh.
That's a violation.
Okay, so are you specifically asking about a certain violation
No,
or
no, just in general, what is a violation?
So a violation could be something as simple as not anchoring down a storage building. So for us, we know storage buildings are one of the hardest things to capture in a community because storage buildings pop up overnight. They can easily just drop them and nobody really pays attention to them once they're there. So according to the regulations, storage buildings are supposed to be elevated to the base flood elevation, and they're supposed to be anchored down to prevent flotation. If a flash flood was to ever come through, if you just have a actual detached storage building that sits straight on cement blocks or on a slab, the water can easily just shift it off. And then if that detached storage building floats into someone else's home, who's held liable for it? Either the homeowner or the community. So that's a simple one, but that is something that we catch a lot of times. No matter what community, that is one of the hardest issues. to
So
fix.
if not following the regulations is a violation, that means that as a board, we have to follow those regulations. Is that what I'm hearing? Like, we
Yes.
agree to them and we have to
Yes.
follow them.
Yes, so this ordinance, like I said, this is a local jurisdiction program. MEMA has no authority over the program. FEMA has no authority over the program. The community themselves decided to adopt this program and to become a member of the program because it does offer benefits. If let's say a federal declared disaster occurred in the city of Kettle, because you're a member of the program, you are allowed to get federal funding for this. If, let's say, you all have citizens who want flood insurance, because you're a member of the program, those citizens can get flood insurance. If you have a homeowner who wants to build in a special flood hazard area and they go get a mortgage, because you are a member of this program, they can get that loan because you are a member of this program. Now, if you're not a member of the program, the opposite happens, right? So if someone actually has a mortgage and they're in a special flood hazard area, and you all decide you want to opt out of the program, then that mortgage company can't call that loan due. If you have citizens who have flood insurance and you want to get out of the program, they cannot renew their flood insurance, nor anyone who wants to actually get flood insurance can receive it. If you want to receive federal funding as a federal declared disaster and you're not a member of this program, you are not awarded any federal funding. And that also goes for any public assistance award. So it's a catch-22. It's like you gotta be a member to be one thing, and if you don't want to be a member, it also hurts somebody in the end. And so our goal is, like I say, is to protect the citizens, protect their property. And so being a member of this program is about the citizens. It's
Can
about,
I ask you about, making a variance?
okay, what about a variance?
Well, can the floodplain minister grant variances?
A floodplain administrator, yes, a floodplain administrator can grant variances. However, if a floodplain administrator decides to deny it, it can be appealed, and that appeal can go before a board. And according to your ordinance, that is who it was chosen as the actual variance board, was the Board of Aldermen.
The Board of Aldermen, so we can grant, this.
You can depend, now, it depends on what it is. So, in our outside, variances are not good. The reason why we say that it depends on what the subject is. If someone wants to receive a variance because they don't want their home to be split levels. So when I say split levels, I mean, we call these structures pre-firm structures, which are structures that were built before a map was ever in place. So a map came into place in 1980. So that's a long time. So if you have a home that was built in 1979, right? So that means it was before the map. Now, if you want to issue a variance because they don't want to raise the addition up. So addition is called new construction, which means it has to be brought into 2024 code. It can't exist the way the previous home was, because we know if it floods, this 1979 home is gonna always flood. So why do you want to build something back to the 1979? So the regulations require that you build it up to make it new construction. So if you issue a variance just because they don't want a split level home, you can't do this. Now, ways that you can issue variance is if it's a historic structure. So a historic structure means it has to be on the historic registry. You have to actually be able to provide that paperwork. So if one of us ever come into the community and you say, we issued a variance for this property because it is a historic structure, our first thing we're gonna say is, can you show me the paperwork for it? If you can't provide the paperwork to show that it's a historic structure, then it's an invalid variance.
Let me get some clarification on something. So this Board of Aldermen can grant a variance,
Yes,
but
depending
it's
on.
very restricted in how and why. You're giving us an example of how restricted something on the historic registry.
Yes.
But can anyone else outside of this Board of Aldermen grant a variance?
No.
So not the mayor, not the floodplain manager, just the Board of Aldermen.
Floodplain manager can grant a variance, but it would have to go before the board.
It still has to go through the board.
Yes, the board
So
will still
ultimately,
have
the only body that can get that variance is
Is
the
the
Board of
board,
Aldermen.
yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you some very specific questions about some hypothetical situations.
Okay,
And I want you to tell me if we can grant a variance for this.
okay.
Alright, can we grant a variance because the buyer has paid a large amount of money for a property in the AE flood zone and wants to rebuild a non-conforming building?
No, that is not possible. Just, let me ask you this question. Why exactly? Are we saying, is the building historic?
It is not.
Has the building had any health or safety violations before construction? It's possible if it had any health safety violations, because that can be a variance.
Okay.
That's in the ordinance. However,
Oh,
if
to
we're,
fix the
to
safety
fix
violation.
to fix the safety violation, yes.
Okay.
However, if it's just simply because they do not want to bring the building up to code, it's not a reason to, well, I'm not gonna say it's not a reason, because anyone, you all can issue a variance all day. We can't make you stop doing anything. Because at the end of the day, this is the local jurisdiction program. However, when one of us say, why was this variance issued? And then you explain to us that reason why, that is not a reason as to issue a variance.
What if the buyer stands to lose a substantial amount of money? Doesn't change anything.
Doesn't change anything.
What if the buyer has already substantially improved the property?
Okay, so now you just hit a keyword. So substantial. So, I don't know how much you all may know about substantial improvement. So substantial damage and substantial improvement means whenever, someone does, I'm gonna use the word improvement because that's the word you led with. So if we're looking at improvement, if someone does over 50% of the actual value of that structure, improvement wise, then that means the structure, if it's not compliant, has to be brought into compliance. So if we're talking about an old building that's probably, I'm gonna say it should be dilapidated, but if it's not, if it should be and it's that old of a structure and you know it's not up to the code of your actual flood damage prevention ordinance, then it should be brought up to code. That's still not a reason to issue a variance.
What should we do if a permit was given to this hypothetical property? What would be the appropriate action of this board?
If a permit, you should issue a stop work order. Simply because it sounds like this permit was not, I'm gonna say it's invalid because it should have not been given if the actual structure was not brought into compliance. Now, the next question is gonna be, was a beginning elevation certificate given to the floodplain administrator to show that they're gonna raise the structure up to the correct height?
So just to be clear, to get a permit, there should be what kind of permit did you say?
So it depends on what your ordinance says, so I'm big on quoting what's in your ordinance. So your ordinance states that you all require elevation certificates. So before you issue a permit, if it is considered new construction or something that is 50% of the threshold, which then means new construction, then they will be required to follow the permit procedures. So the permit procedures for the pedal,
Section.
yes, so it's Article 4, Section B. So the first thing they're gonna ask is the application stage. So in the application stage, they're supposed to give a pre-construction elevation certificate. And I don't know how many of you all have probably seen one of those, but it looks the same as a finished elevation certificate. But in your ordinance, you require a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so if you're talking about a structure that's considered new construction, they're supposed to give a pre-construction elevation certificate because the floodplain administrator is supposed to say, hey, with them redoing this building, it is going to be the correct height plus whatever freeboard that may be in your ordinance. And you do have freeboard in your ordinance. And so most of your freeboard in your ordinance says it's 1 foot above the elevation. So that pre-construction elevation is supposed to show that, and that's when a floodplain administrator is supposed to provide a permit. If you provide a permit first without getting your documents, who can guarantee that they're actually gonna bring your documents in?
And even with that permit, if it doesn't meet the substantially improved structure 50% rule, we still don't get it. Correct.
So if it does not meet that 50% substantial rule, then they just need a permit. But you still have to keep up with it if your ordinance says that it has cumulative tracking in it, which your ordinance does say that. So it says you have a 10-year tracking period.
Okay. Do you know how many variances have been reported?
No, I'm unsure. I didn't do, I'll say FEMA did the CAB, and I'm not sure. They didn't report any variances.
So in our variance, section E2, it says that the floodplain administration will report such variances to the Federal Management Agency and the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency upon request. Can you make that request?
Yes, we can ask it. So normally when we do our visits, that is our question. We ask how many variances have you issued since the last time someone came to the community? That is a question we ask.
Okay, can I get you to ask for that and have the record reflect that? Because I would like that to go into motion because I'd like that information.
So you would like for me to ask that question?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Would you like for me to ask on behalf of myself or on behalf of you?
Well, I would like to see that information, but I want to see what NEMA is giving.
Let me ask you, I'm the city attorney here. How do you normally handle, how would you normally send a request like this that he's requesting to a city?
And
Would you
for
normally do that from your office in Jackson?
a variance?
Well, he's asking for reporting of
Report,
variances.
so normally variances reports are only requested when we actually do a community assistance visit. We normally don't ask for variances outside of an actual audit. So now the new visit is now termed as audit. That's what FEMA changed.
So he's asking you for one thing, but I'm asking you as city attorney that you not send us that unless you're gonna do the community service visit that you've talked about.
Okay, but I don't have anything to send you.
Okay, sounds great.
Let's say he was asking me to request it from you, but I don't have anything to send you, because I don't have.
I'm willing to
We
do
didn't, I didn't conduct it, like I said, FEMA conducted the meeting, MEMA did not.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just, the only reason I bring it up is the ordinance we agreed to did say that you're able to request that information.
Yes, but
And I
it's,
would
it's
like
if
that
we
information.
do assist, if we do a community assistance visit, that's normally when we request them to
Okay.
actually make a copy.
It seems like the path is clear. Let's see, so hypothetically speaking, are subdivision plats allowed to be waived by a variance? That making of a plat.
Well, your ordinance actually states that so subdivision plat was actually a higher standard, but it was adopted in the 2021 ordinance. So that means that you're supposed to accept them because that was adopted in the regulations. And you can't issue a variance for that because it's in your ordinance.
Could we issue a variance for all subdivision requirements?
Can you issue a variance for all subdivision requirements?
Yes.
No, sir.
Um,
It depends now, I'd say, it depends on if there's a special case and it goes based on how many acres or how much lot size.
yes, ma'am.
And again, I did actually bring a copy of the variance book, if anyone would like to have, I did actually bring a copy of that.
Okay, and I'm almost done. You've been so nice. Sorry I'm giving you a hard time. Can variance be issued after the fact?
Variance cannot be issued after the fact of
Work.
work. No, variance is supposed to be issued before the start of the construction.
And who enforces the variances? Like who enforces it? Like, I'm a little confused because we have MEMA, we have this Board of Aldermen. Where's the enforcement arm in this? Who's supposed to be saying, this is the way it happens?
So this reads, the City of Petal of Mississippi Flood Damage Prevention Ordinance. Local jurisdiction programs, so who enforces the regulations? The City of Petal.
So it's our job to enforce this.
Yes.
And by not enforcing it, and taking part in this program, or maybe I should say we don't take part in this program, you've already listed all the things that our community would be losing, correct?
Yes.
In a hypothetical sense.
In a hypothetical sense, yes. If you do not meet the compliance, or if you're not considered compliant with the Code of Federal Regulations, which is pretty much what we're grading you on, not just from your ordinance, but within the community itself. Because when we do visits, even if it's FEMA or MEMA, we all do the same steps. We're gonna meet with you first, ask you some questions, get a feel of how things have been running in the community. And then the last part would be an actual field visit. So we actually take a drive of the actual floodplain in the City of Petal. And so based on your ordinance, and we make sure that your ordinance is compliant, because we do have different model ordinances. So this was a 2021, because I see that you did have a map adoption in 2021. And so we actually have a 2022 version. So there could be a difference between what's in 2021. And I did notice that your 2021 has a lot of higher regulations. Again, to be a member of this program, you only need the minimum. And my recommendation is if you're gonna adopt the higher regulations, make sure someone go through them with you, because you're adopting a lot of things that you may not be able to actually keep up with and enforce within your community. But in reference to, like I said, hypothetical.
Let me make sure I understand what you just said. We have a higher level of ordinances
Yes.
currently.
Yes.
And in 2015, which is the last time, it was a little more mild.
No, it's 2021.
21
Yes.
is, and And that's one reason now, and it is, more strict than.
Yes, the 2021 is, I'm not gonna say it's more stricter than your other ones, because I haven't reviewed your other ones. I only reviewed the current one because that's the current ordinance that's going on in place now. But this one does have a lot of higher regulations within it. And I'm unsure, the community may be aware of it. I'm just not sure. I just know for a lot of times, communities that have a lot of development, it may be good. If you don't have a lot of development, it might have been something you wanted to look at and maybe like, I don't know about this. Prime example, in your ordinance, you prohibited any flammable materials. So I mean, if you have anyone that has a propane tank that's in a special flood hazard area, you literally prohibit it in your ordinance. Did you know that? I'm not sure, you may have, but that's in your ordinance. You limited the size of an enclosure on a home. You limited the size of that people can bring in the detached storage buildings. You limited the size of it. All of this is in your ordinance. So I'm not aware if you, what you realize you adopted, but you adopt a lot of higher regulations that may not be feasible for your actual community.
Well, that's all the questions I have. I can't thank you enough for, answering them.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Anything else, guys?
You're welcome.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming down.
Thank you.
Obviously, also, if y'all need any contact information, just let me know, and we can shoot you any emails and whatever we need to do.
Thank you
Appreciate your time.
again. Do I need to sign this?
Oh, no, we're good. We
Okay,
actually
anyone like a
had,
copy?
we actually had you on the agenda, so.
Okay. Okay, I have a copy of the variance. You're welcome. It was nice meeting you.
I'll give you a thank you. We're gonna have a outage of power down at the river park, which it's not April 6th. We're good, huh? We did confirm, you're not that day, but anyway. Okay, Valerie.
Get on with
Sure. You hungry? You getting hangry?
Sorry for that.
All righty, number 8, request to accept auction agreement with Jeff Martin Auctions for Inc. For Auctioneers Inc. for auction services. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Number 9, request to purchase a table bait to help sponsor Pedal Education Foundation Laughter and Lanyap event. Motion. Is there a second?
Sorry.
All in favor? Number 10, request to apply for FY 2023 firefighter grant for vehicle acquisition. Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Assistant Chief,
Yes, sir.
tell them what that's for.
This is on a, new ladder truck, depending on, let me pull this out. Of course, y'all know how much equipment is, ladder trucks, an engine's 900,000, the ladder's 1.9 million. So instead of the city taking on the burden of trying to spend 1.9 million, we'll try to write a grant for that. The city's portion will be about 130,000 if we're awarded that grant.
If I'm not mistaken, this may have been something that came across my desk from Congressman Ezel. But anyway, appreciate your work on that.
So we're gonna write that grant, we're gonna get y'all's approval before we start.
Absolutely, no problem.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor? Number 11, request to accept license agreement for temporary use and right of entry with Mrs. Power for April 5th, July. Okay. So is that thing said? I guess that'd cover you for the 4th too. Okay, all right.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? That's for parking for the event that we're going to announce on March 5th, and then we're not having decided on the July 4th. Isn't July 4th like on a Thursday this year?
Third,
We're doing on the 3rd, which is a
day
Wednesday.
before the 4th.
Really? Hold on, I'm writing that down. All right, thank you. Okay, number 12, request to pay estimate number 4 in the amount of $503,230.86 to Grady Crawford Construction for Eastover Sewer, or SDW.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Shouldn't be much more on that one, that's why I. Oh, it is a Wednesday, the 3rd is a Wednesday? 3rd is a Wednesday. Number 13, request to pay estimate number 4 in the amount of $20,580.80. T.L. Wallace for the splash pad per Shell Dearman and Waits. There's a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There's some punch list level stuff. We don't have much to do on that. I mean, it's literally some stuff I think I could probably go out there and do some of it, but we'll let them do it since they're getting paid large sums of money for it.
It's
But
showing no
anyway,
1%.
and we will have a ribbon cutting with Melissa partaking of the splash pad. So, anyway, live on YouTube. Stay tuned for those dates. Number 14, request to accept proposals from Deb Stewart and Pittman Howdy Shell PLLC for right-of-way acquisition services related to the Evelyn Gandy North project.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Number 15, request to accept proposal from Atlas Appraisal Services for EGP North right-of-way acquisition.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 16, request to accept proposal from Pittman Howdy Shell PLLC for road acquisition services related to Castlewood Sewer Project. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 17, request to dispose of 5 Motorola radios in the police department with those serial numbers.
Motion. Second.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Chief, we should have just put you in the consent agenda. Request to dispose of 1 office chair, property of that number in the police department.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 19, request to dispose of 6 office chairs in City Hall, so wasteful. In City Hall, is there a motion?
Motion.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
line on display.
That's right. We're gonna, yeah, that's going in the museum, Steve.
Police took a couple of them.
Okay. You there? That's how they do it. It's on eBay right now. Number 20, request to approve the following adjustments to the services bill to the Leaks, 114 Leeville, 133 Sherry Lynn, 126 West 8, 116 Fairview, 1213 Smith, 126 Sherry Lynn, the numbers listed. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
did you give them sign that?
I did,
All in
sure
favor?
did.
I don't know if they're really doing that.
We haven't.
We need to get your company.
Yeah, Kim, you're gonna have to start asking that question after you get sworn in.
Steve will now be elevated to come by and make sure they really are doing what they're saying. All right, number 21, request to authorize a licensed food truck to set up at 804 East Central at Strahan Auto Sales for a special event on March 2nd.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 22, request to submit a letter of support for City of Hattiesburg's Western Beltway Planning Grant application for a raise 2024.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that's one that we had sent in for them last year, and always more than glad to help out Hattiesburg. They've helped us out as well in the past. So 23, request for Casey, seminars and travel, request for Casey Wallet to attend ARMS conference in New Orleans. Total cost $1445.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
24, request for Calvin Wright to attend domestic violence call training in Long Beach. Cost $150.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Request for Calvin Wright to attend officer-involved shooting and critical incidents training in Mendenhall, the 11th through the 12th, cost $300.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 26, request for Bobby Sheffield to attend basic firefighter at the State Fire Academy. Cost $920, April 7th through May 26th.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chief, I wish you would have told me this earlier. Request for Aaron Jernigan to attend less lethal instructor class in Pearl, Mississippi, June 11th through the 13th. Total cost $1,265.19.
Is Aaron gonna be able to do that as big as he is? Less people?
No, I was talking
Yeah,
about the neighborhood post.
We don't know if it was him or not.
We think we
I
got
asked him
perp. We think we got a
today,
perp on that.
Actually, could have been even a Forrest candidate, I'm not sure.
We've got a suspect. Oh, it's had to be one of our guys.
That's what I'm saying. I would say that.
Put 'em on.
Jernigan he played dumb, so it.
That's humble of him. That was nice. All right, you got a motion, got a second, all in favor? 28, request for the following to attend tactical emergency casualty care training at the State Academy on the 11th to the 12th of March, $472. Destin Chandler, Kenneth Gardner, Robert Clem, and Doug Shepherd. Is there a second? All in favor? Ooh, I'm gonna be nice to y'all. Number 29, request for the following to attend North American Sniper Conference in Tuscaloosa, the 1st to the 5th of April. Cody Crawford, Ethan Wimberly, and Tim Slade. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? You know, I think a lot of you guys, I just want to let y'all know that. Request to reimburse Mayor Ducker for expenses related to DC trip as follows. Flight, $486.80. $562.28, about $1,300 altogether. Well, something. So there got a motion, got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
For discussion?
The other trip we took, it was actually, I came back sick both times, but just saying, I got, swampitis or something, I don't know. But, anyway, orders and ordinances, 31, request to adopt an order hiring Carter Hinton full-time as a recruit firefighter at a rate of $11.7521 per hour, effective the 21st. Is there a motion? Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Number 32, request to adopt order transferring Heath Dixon from full-time officer to part-time officer at a rate of $13 per hour, effective February.
Tomorrow, we're changing that to tomorrow.
What did I put?
You put the 20th, which is today.
Monday.
Did we say no?
Let's do tomorrow, my apologies.
Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, folks, I got some good news. I'm not even sure when we did it. When did we put in for this? The second time last year they started doing a Mississippi Outdoor Stewardship Trust Fund. Obviously, our concerns with the Matthews Branch project is it was a project that was, the numbers were baked pre-COVID, and now we done rocked on several years, so there obviously some concern for some money. So we put in for some money with the help of Clerk Martin and John Weeks. I looked over their shoulder while they were doing it. So anyway, we have gotten initial approval for the Matthews Branch sidewalk improvements for $261,890. It, like that entire project, is a matching, so we'll have to spend it to get it. So you will see in the next few weeks a memorandum of understanding from them. As we sit here today, that project, unfortunately, will probably put a shovel in the ground about this time next year. So we've got some of the stuff you voted on. Some of those names are working on acquisition and all that good stuff. And I don't know that you want to start building the sidewalk first of January, so we'll see. But anyway, we do have some other monies, NPO monies of around $185,000 I've been able to get. That was put towards this as well. So it can minimize our part of it and also cover us if the numbers are wacky. So, so good news. So anyway, there we go. And it's one of the things, obviously, everybody knows we've got a lobbyist now. So it's one of the things that we want to reach outside of the city of Petal and try to get funds that we typically haven't. And obviously, we used to not have the matching funds to make a lot of this happen. And now we're kind of in a season. Of course, you can get in trouble doing that as well. And then Melissa has some good news. Let me catch her flat-footed. You've got some good news as well, NCWI.
We got our second reimbursement,
Of,
221,000 and something.
okay.
I don't know the exact amount.
That has been a very grateful for that system at NCWI from the state level. It's been very laborious getting stuff done. I think come March 1, they're going to change the rules again, from what we understand. So John said something about giving Melissa a raise or something, but I don't know about that. I'm kind of like, what would Willie say? Where's Steve at?
Been doing it all this.
She's been doing it for what we've been paying her. She's been doing it. Why don't we pay her more? Anyway, anything, Alderman want to add, anything? Miss Ada?
I just was telling Steve, you should have donated some of that money you asked for back.
I would have, but I got sick, so I felt like I earned a little bit more of it. You know who I saw up there, Miss Ada?
Oh, yeah, I called him. He told me he was up
That's the
there.
only reason I went up there, to make sure he didn't get us in trouble, give us a bad name up there.
I told him when you go back again, I'm going with him. Y'all gonna keep me on.
You get that straight, you get some things straightened
Yeah,
out
get
then,
the
would
thing straightened out up there.
you? Awesome, anything from the Alderman? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Let me, on the bridge.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry,
Just
go
want to
ahead.
get an update on the bridge, everything's going well, they're actually on schedule, so, no delays anywhere, so it's good.
Good, appreciate that. And, I will put, Kim's cell phone and y'all's street address on blast here, directly once you swear in. So, y'all can start directing y'all's phone calls to her, just kind of. But, oh yeah, I mentioned this too, we did not budget for going to the MAP conference. But I think we can find the funds if we needed to, so y'all consider that, and then maybe Melissa will reach out to y'all during the week. Because it's probably something we need to go ahead and move on if we want to do it. I think, 6 or 7 of us go, I don't think we're gonna
It's a good conference, too.
break the bank, and I know it would probably be very helpful for Kim. She's going either way,
Yeah,
but we couldn't get in the classes without.
that's right.
And
He
then
said
if
she
you go,
wasn't taking it,
she wasn't taking Steve. And I think
Well, she wants her
we
own
could probably
room.
get a grant from the county to pay for half of it, is what I heard.
Yeah.
From somebody.
Just let me know if you wanna go.
Yeah, just email her. Y'all reach out to her if y'all want to go.
23rd through something.
I want to go.
I'm not sitting in. I'll get my alderman her own room.
She's probably like.
Yeah, she wouldn't, yeah. We're not gonna tell you where she's staying. Awesome. Motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
Motion.
All in favor? Oh,
We'll give it to you. We'll let Gerald do the second.
no, let Drew, yeah, we're gonna get that to Drew. Drew, appreciate you, buddy. I know y'all feel good. Hope you get feeling better. Thanks, bud. Where we eating at?
That'd be good, man.
I'm not gonna leave my boys out.